from the bottom of my heart, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
This guy's channel, Jody's channel.
Jody's Corner. My favorite.
Thank you so much.
YouTube is good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Jody's Corner. So that SFX Magazine, this is going to be a Wonder Woman update. Patty recently had an interview in the entire cast with SFX Magazine. So I read this issue and I had a pretty bad experience with purchasing this thing. I ordered this magazine in the morning of its release and I didn't get it until almost 9 o'clock at night. So that's why I couldn't give you guys this video yesterday. I wanted to drop it the same day that the magazine came out, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Things happen. So yeah, so this was an interesting interview from Patty. She really laid down a lot of story elements and what was her motivations and what she came up with. How was she decided to tackle the 80s, why she decided to choose Wonder Woman to be in the modern day, the 80s. She very much said she wanted to take the character to the modern day, and she considers the 80s the modern day, our modern world. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. As you can see, look at this beautiful image right here that I'm gonna show you guys. Let me get a zoomed up version of this. Blood fire. So this is an exclusive image. Gal looking fierce as ever. In this first part, she talks about what Wonder Woman 1 was. How she talked about how a lot of people didn't expect Wonder Woman to be a good film. A lot of people were doubting that there could even be a female heroine that could be a box office success, let alone a critical success. There was a lot of hate on the DC universe at the moment, and Wonder Woman proved a lot of people wrong. She talked about how she never saw it being so huge and so big, and she realized that she really didn't have anything to lose because so many people were looking down on the whole DC movement anyway, and it turned out to be something great. Then we also see this this artwork over here of this golden eagle armor with the wings. This is concept art for sure. Wonder Woman's new wing costume. This is glorious, bro. She's in the air in this concept art here. You know what that means? Y'all know what that means. That means she flying, bro. Wonder Woman about to be flying with that golden eagle armor, bro. Whew. Back to this. More concept of the stadium. So of Paradise Island in Themyscira. So you guys remember the trailer where it showed the Amazons jumping on the stones and stuff in what appears to be an Olympic Games, a Themyscirian Olympic Games. Well, this is a concept art of where this seems to have been taking place. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment, about that Olympic Games scene. Well, I could talk about it now. So this Olympic Games is a real thing. And what she talked about even in the second page here is how important it was. Just how important it was in order to make the Wonder Woman film feel authentic. This film is 80% wire work that was used very much in the 1980s television shows, 1980s films, because of the lack of CGI and all those computer power and all that. And this film, Patty said, is 80% wire work, that's a lot. And that is going to make it more immersive. It's going to make it look real. She says, if you see people jumping in the sky, those are real people. The people at the Olympic Games that you saw in the trailer, those were real people. And she said that was a real little girl on wires really doing those jumps and all those moves. She said it means a lot to her to make it more immersive, to make it dynamic, to make it feel real. And how do you do that? Yeah, she says CG is good. There's a lot of CG in the movie, but she wanted to use real shots, real cinema, real wire work wherever she could. And that just goes to show, lends to her amazing directorial ability. She films on film. For the most part that I know of, she films on film. That's a trait that's going the way of the dodo nowadays with the modern directors. And just hearing that she did so much of this in wire work really makes me feel good, and it inspires me, and it makes me feel like I'm going to watch not just a superhero film, but a great story of a character who just happens to be a superhero. Great cinema. is basically what it looks like I'm in store for. So we're looking at this image in zoom format. You can see Cheetah over here in the top left, looking fire. She looking fire. This middle image right here, I remember this from. This looked like the image that was on like a Pepsi commercial. I remember seeing a commercial like this. And this also is she's in the mall here. And she talks about this mall scene. So they built a complete mall and made it 1980s with storefronts and everything. That's what Patty was really proud about, that they really built this mall. You can see up here top right corner. That was built specifically for the film. Now the homie who lives in the DC area, Tarian Reigns, told me that it's a mall near I think he said it's near DC that they renovated. And he says this is the mall. This looks like a trip into the 1980s, right? Patty was extremely proud of this mall here because it's all the storefronts and all the old it said it reminded her of a time. And it got me thinking, man, because I don't know if you guys know about the news, but JCPenney filed for bankruptcy, and it looks like Amazon might be coming to buy them. I'm going to release that article on my website. It's Amazon making an effort to push their fashion line. I remember, man, what it was like just going to Sears and just going through the rack, hearing the metal scrape of the hanger sliding down the metal rack bar. Oh, this is fly. Looking at the department store mannequins, hearing the music. Imagine what that's like from the 1980s. It's just something so nostalgic about that. There's something so feel-goody and safe and reminiscent about that. And that's what she's trying to capture here with this Wonder Woman film and with this mall. So that's dope. It talks about Cheetah. It talks about the 80s for the most part in this section about what the 80s means to her and why the 80s. And she goes on to talk about Linda Carter as an inspiration. Patty said that Linda Carter was everything to her. You know, when she watched the television show, that was her first introduction to Wonder Woman. That is her Wonder Woman. And it was a really good point that Patty made in this article. She says that back in the 1970s and 80s when Wonder Woman was airing, that she was alone for the most part. It was just Wonder Woman with a show that was running in the 80s, and that's it. She was holding it down. Linda Carter was absolutely holding it down. And then Patty was talking about how she wanted to add Linda Carter. She was thinking about adding Linda Carter into Wonder Woman 84. She said, I thought about it and it was a thing. But she said she definitely thought about it. But Linda Carter might be in Wonder Woman 84. We don't know. She might be in it. So I'm looking forward to see if Linda Carter is actually in the film, because there was always rumors that I've heard that about Linda Carter being, oh, thank you for subscribing and going all over my face. Let me go ahead and take these alerts off. All right, anyway. Yeah, so Wonder Woman 84 had a huge inspiration from Linda Carter, but she didn't. And what's good is that Patty didn't want to take Wonder Woman 84 and make it like a relaunching, a retelling. She mentioned specifically, she wanted to be more of a passing the torch moment, taking what Linda Carter did and moving forward with the Wonder Woman character. And Patty said it meant so much to her that when Linda Carter and I think the granddaughter of Marston, who was the creator of Wonder Woman, said, yo, this is Wonder Woman, that really meant a lot for Patty herself. And she's really talking about just what it means to be directing this film. She then goes on in the next part, and we get this little interview between Gal and Kristen Wiig. They were asked about, how was it working? How was the physical conditioning? They said it was tough, brutal. They had to do Pilates, workouts, and all kind of different weightlifting training just in order to do the wire work and stunts for this film. Kristen Wiig says when she joined, it was a real family moment. Her and Gal have instant chemistry. They're really good friends and everything clicked. But there's also something I want to talk about that I forgot about before we get here. Patty says that her and Gal took the kids to the circus, and I hope it's the Circus de la Lo or some shit. I'm assuming it's the circus. Maybe it's a little bit more complex than that, with like people who are like the Flying Graysons from Batman, people on trapezes and shit like that. You know, high end Vegas shit. I don't know. It could just be like a Ringling Brothers type of circus too, with elephants and clowns and shit too. I don't know. But she went to something like that, right? And she saw the wire work. Bro, she took this was before they even started coming up with the ideas for Wonder Woman 84. This is fascinating to me. She went to the circus with Gal and their kids, and Patty and Gal are seeing, Patty's seeing the wire work, and she's like, this could work. She's like, this would be cool if we use this for the film. And she, just by going to the circus, for lack of better words, she said, these wires, they built rigs, and she ran with that idea. She made sure that was in her film. She wanted it to be real, and that's why everyone lunging through the air, running fast, fighting in the air, fighting on the ground, all these action scenes, jumping over trucks, all of it is wire work. And it took months to build these machines because it hadn't been done really before like that. You know, who's doing wire work like this on this level in 2020? Not nobody. She talked about, you know, the truck scene where Wonder Woman's jumping on the truck and Steve Trevor's on that truck. She talked about those are real vintage old trucks that gave her a hard time because she said CG does help in some aspects. Those trucks are very real, and those wires are very real, and all of that we're going to see in Wonder Woman is going to be very real. There's no CG to it. They're really people jumping in, fighting and shit, and that's dope. But also, those trucks gave her a hard time because they're slow. They're slow trucks, but it slowed things down. She said having slow trucks and doing the wire works to match the trucks makes the scene slower, makes it more consumable, because she said something really slick that I believe in too. Sometimes when that CG just be going so fast, you lose track inside of what's going on. You know what I mean? So in order to slow down and be able to follow the scenes and see everything and take in and absorb everything that's going on screen is going to be a true treat for Wonder Woman 84. I'm telling you, after this article, bro, on top of everything else that I already know and heard, bro, this is going to be one of the best superhero movies in a very, very, very long time. All right, so Kristen Wiig and Gal were talking about their chemistry. They were asked about the LGBT community. A lot of the LGBT community wanted, they were speculating that Kristen Wiig and Gal were on a date, that they were love interests of some sort, and they laughed it off. But they were like, hey, you know, Gal was like, for Diana, Steve is here, and she still very much loves Steve. There's not room for two. Patty said there's not room for two lovers. That's just a tough one. Steve is in the film, and they said Gal said there's definitely some sexual tension between her and Kristen Stewart in a joking fashion, but they're friends, and they said that, you know, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Everything's good. There's a lot going on with this film. They have a great time together, and it's really good to hear that when it came to Kristen Wiig about playing, I hope I haven't been saying Kristen Stewart this whole time. Oh my God. I hope I have not been saying Kristen Stewart this whole time. Please, please. No bean. Kristen Wiig. I hope I've been saying Kristen Wiig. You know how sometime in your head you're thinking, but what comes out your mouth is not. I hope that didn't happen to me. But Kristen Wiig talked about how what it meant playing Barbara Minerva. And she says that, you know, there's comic this, there's comic that. You know, you got to look at all that. But she really left her character. She wanted to bring as much as she could to the character, do the best she could to put herself in pristine physical condition, looking at you, Robert Pattinson, and just making sure that she wanted to do the best for the role that she could do. But all that aside, she gave in to Patty. She says it was really Patty's character. I follow Patty's lead, and that's a real narrative that goes throughout this entire interview process. Steve Trevor, Pedro Pascal, they always talk about, every time they're going back to their leader. They're going back to Patty. This is Patty's film, Patty's character, Patty's idea, Patty's lead. She is the director. It's like more than that. She's like the director, producer, creator. She's like the Don Dada. Patty, that's fire. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the film, actually. So, yeah, that's what this was, a little brief interview. Then we get to see this scene, concept art, top left, of Minerva in her cheater form. This is just some concept, but you can see they added her with the same outfit here. They put the same outfit and kind of gave her like a concept art right there. This is not how she is gonna look, but this is just an idea of concept. You got, Golden Eagle down here. Pedro Pascal had a interview here where Pedro Pascal was talking about what the 80s meant to him and playing different types of characters. Maxwell Lord versus the Mandalorian versus someone like the guy from Narcos. How he had to change up, and he says, he says that playing Maxwell Lord is totally different than being on Broadway like he was used to doing. So he very much loved being a part of this team. He very much felt welcome. He could be himself, his funny self, his personality being as big as it is, as he says in his personal life, being exuberant as Maxwell Lord can bring some type of pressure to that and all that he talked about. So, Patty talked about bringing Cheetah back because Cheetah is exciting and that Cheetah had to be done. And Maxwell Lord and Cheetah being Wonder Woman's one of Wonder Woman's most popular villains, which is why she decided to do that. A lot of wire work talk has been, that's really the focus takeaway that I got, is how real the film will be and how immersive it's going to be. So that's really dope. And you can see this White House scene that a lot of us are familiar with. And then moving on, we see Chris Pine was really, he was like, yo, what was it like? He's like, yo, I can't really tell you nothing about the film, about my character. He's the big mystery here. That's for sure. The huge mystery and the huge question mark for me is, how does he come back and it make sense? That's the only thing, in my opinion. I already know Patty gonna nail everything else because she knows what she's doing. But bringing Steve Trevor back and making it's one thing to bring Steve Trevor back and make him awesome in the film. That's fine. But one of the things that I'm worried about is bringing back Steve Trevor and me not wanting him to be in this film, and I'd rather him just in Wonder Woman 2017. I do not want to feel like bringing him back didn't measure up to just letting him stay dead in that beautiful fashion that he went out in 2017. I don't want to look at Wonder Woman 2017 as a better Steve Trevor story. You know what I'm saying? And that just shows courage. And Patty was even, Chris Pine said that, yo, we weren't even done filming the first Wonder Woman by the time Patty knew that she had ideas for the next Wonder Woman film. And he says that I felt pretty confident that I was going to be in it. So that goes to show and they're all friends. They're all friends. Patty and Steve Trevor even in business together. They have their own like production company effort thing going on. A lot of that had to do with I Am the Night and what's coming in the future and stuff like that. Add Gal to the mix. They're very much good friends, good chemistry and all that. It's great. And he was talking about, I'm glad to be here. Not many people could get paid to just throw a few punches and be in a action film, flirt with Gal and hang with my friends. That was funny. It's almost not a job. That's how everybody talks about how much of a pleasure it was to be on set. And that is fire. That is absolutely fire because, things could be disasters. And just hearing that this is such a happy place to be really makes it awesome. She talked about the DC universe and how she said that she actually liked Snyder's movies more than most people did, but she also feels like DC now is in a good place because of the characters are getting their feet on the ground and it's a good look. So that's one thing. She talked about how the difference between Marvel and DC. She talked about how the MCU is very much a fantastic thing. She said that DC also has a good advantage because it has so many great characters. DC just has really good characters that could tell so many different stories. So it seems to me like Patty loves what the MCU did, as I do. But she knows and she identifies that Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Flash, there's so many different personalities, storylines, some dark, some light, some funny, some serious, some not. As a director, creatively, that has to be dope. The MCU, as fantastic as it is from a business standpoint and a creative standpoint, it's very monotone. The MCU formula, don't go too dark, not too sexual, no sex scenes, bruh, and that's just off the tip of my head. DC could very much go dark. It can go mythical. It can go sexy. It can go scary. It can go action. It could go kiddie. It could go light. It's just as a director, that creativity to be able to explore those certain cavities has to feel good. Warner Brothers was known as the director studio, still is, and that comes from precedence of actually being able to allow your directors to do pretty much what they want. And looking at what Patty had, Warner Brothers let Patty just do whatever the freak she wanted to do, which is tight. So that's an interesting take. Cheetah was talking about how, she was how big the role and how much the role means to her, and it was really nice to hear those things. So this is really a really good catch up point and update for the actual. And I'm gonna close with this. They were talking about Wonder Woman 3, and then she was talking about the Amazon movie. So Patty is going to take a much needed break from full-time production with the Amazon movie. So after Wonder Woman 84, we're very likely going to get an Amazon movie within 2 years after that. So let's say Wonder Woman 84 comes out in 2021 for International Women's Day weekend, which is I thought it should. But let's say it comes out maybe by 2023 we'll have we should probably be having a coronavirus allowing it or not. By 2023, maybe we'll have an Amazon film, which is a nice 2-year buffer zone for Patty to really sink her teeth into maybe maybe one other project. Who knows? Maybe she might, what's up with that Superman? You feel me? I don't know. But she also said that Wonder Woman 3 is definitely a possibility. It's probably going to happen. I don't think that she's going to direct it though. I think that creatively she's going to have a lot of creative control over it. I think she'll be an EP. She might even be a producer on that. But I think that she might not want to. I think she might not direct that thing and put all of her time into Wonder Woman 3. So if that happens and she's creatively, she's really doing. Patty really is Kevin Feige right now of the Wonder Woman franchise. Like, the Wonder Woman franchise is the biggest franchise in DC right now, hands down. It's Wonder Woman 84, a Wonder Woman spinoff, Amazon movie, and Wonder Woman 3. And all this product. Bro, Patty was... Did you guys know that Patty the marketed? She did the Doritos, the glasses. She does the merchandise for Wonder Woman 84, all the promotion. She says she doesn't get paid for it, but she loves it so much. She cares about the character so much. Those Dorito bags y'all got it at home, Patty approved those. Patty is approved some of the merchandise because she wants it to be perfect. Bruh, that is ultimate control, bruh. Because she could do it. She could do it like that. Flex them titties. That's what it is. She flex it. That's dope. It also means that she loves the character, man. And that's a lot of power, too. So she's very much already the Kevin Feige of the Wonder Woman universe. She's doing real big baller moves. This is in a huge way. And I'm happy for her as a person because her freaking resume is getting so fat, so thick, so fast. That career is going to be fire. It's already fire. But that career potential for the next couple decades, until she wants to stop, bruh, the future is very bright for Patty Jenkins. And I couldn't be happier. She deserves it, man. It's so good to see stuff like that come together. So, yeah, she talked about how the Amazon film is going to be in the works. She's not going to direct it. She will have control over the story and what it'll be about. She already knows. She already knows the storyline for Wonder Woman 3. She'll have control over that. She wants to make sure that whatever director does direct Wonder Woman 3, they know that, this is what's up. Here's the template. Be creative. You know what I mean? So this was a great read. This is a great trip into the psyche of the characters and the actors. And just, it's a real good look at the film, and this was a good refresher for all of us Wonder Woman 84 supporters. There's a lot of you guys that really are down with this movement along with me right here on Jody's Corner and everywhere else across the world. Thank you guys for supporting this film. Go see this movie 1, 2, 3, 4 times over, because what you're doing is you're supporting a director who actually cares about the characters, and also make sure that each and every one of us who goes and watches her films can feel heroic, no matter where we are, what color, what sexual preference we are, what race we are, what political affiliation we have. We all can go to the cinema and feel like a superhero. And that's the takeaway. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.